business owners. Because I'll tell you that there's about 4.37 million Hispanic-owned businesses in the United States, and they contribute to our economy over $700 billion in revenue, in dollars. But one of the key things is, Hispanic businesses still struggle to keep up with non-Hispanic businesses, simply because of the many things that we have spoken about. The lack of being able to gain access to capital, for example, or access to education and training. Those are all things that are barriers to Hispanic businesses. But we're very proud of the work that we do at the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and we're really about trying to bring a unification of Hispanics and Latinos as a whole, to really foster a community of Hispanics in business where, our people, our members can network and leverage their connections to do things such as gain those access to capital and gain opportunities through federal contracts, gain opportunities to workforce development and employment opportunities. So we're really excited about the work that the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is doing.
So that's the reason why the Latino entrepreneurs should join the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce? That's the main reason? I mean, I think it's huge. But let's say that I am not a member so far, but to be honest, when I was doing my homework, to be able to talk to you, to find about your life, who you are, and also about the chamber itself, I said, oh my gosh, how come I didn't notice it before? So I'm kind of wow, this is missing. So I need to really become a member and be, active. So that's why we need to share this information with the Latino entrepreneurs out there that still don't know about the chamber and they need to actually become members, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I would say is, even if you're just thinking about, becoming a member, we have great resources and tools, not only on our website, but also if you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and even Instagram. We have been putting out a series, for example, called In Her Footsteps, and it highlights Latino entrepreneurs, what they have to overcome, how they really kind of develop sort of the right type of business plans. And that is something that is basically, it's free content. So I would welcome folks to, come and explore through our social media platforms to really kind of get a good sense for, all the great tools that we do and the opportunities that we provide individuals to not only network. So, for example, now in Philadelphia is our national convention, September 16th through the 18th.
Right.
And really it's one of the largest gathering of Hispanic businesses. But we also bring many of our corporate partners to the table as well, including partners such as Comcast, who's our current corporate chair for this year. But we go and we have things such as business matchmaking at the convention. And one of our small businesses in the last several years, they were able to secure a contract with NASA for their business.
Wow.
So those are the types of networking opportunities that these types of convention plus what we have on our website really provide for a lot of small businesses.
Interesting. I think that I'm going to meet you there personally finally because I'm very excited about the possibility of being there. But anyways, I have another question, always in this environment of the chamber and we Latino entrepreneurs. We were talking about what a Latino needs to, Latino entrepreneur, empresario, emprendedor, necesita hacer, cómo estudiar, los mentores, las cualidades internas. But I have a kind of wider question for you. What's the main challenge the Latino entrepreneurs are facing today in this political and economic environment today in USA?
We as a chamber, we're a bipartisan organization, so we try to stay away from the political instability that our country right now is sort of in the middle of, and we really focus a lot of our work around the economic policy. So we will opine on things such as DACA, for example, when it has a financial or economic impact on our country. And, we also need to ensure that we're bringing and surfacing that there's about a $1.38 trillion revenue gap between Hispanic businesses and non-Hispanic businesses. And that's a serious, opportunity that I think we need to continue to bring attention to, and empowering a lot of our Hispanic, communities to educate their entrepreneurs, to really kind of look at the ability for them to scale and generate additional revenue as non-minority owned companies.
Yeah, el ratio de quiebra o de fracaso de los negocios latinos es mucho mayor que el del mercado general. Estaba viendo eso, no sé si estás de acuerdo.
Así es, y mucho lo más importante es que es el acceso a poder tener acceso al capital. Es el problema más grande que tenemos con los negocios hispanos, es que de verdad no tienen el mismo nivel de acceso a capital que negocios que no son hispanos.
Pero no está un poco en nuestra educación, en nuestra cultura. Los hispanos tendemos a ser un poco más como desorganizados, más emocionales, inspirados, pero no nos gusta mucho seguir el orden. What do you think about it?
Yeah, it's something that I think we use that in a positive way, right? And we should embrace it in a positive way because it's that spirit of entrepreneurship that makes us be one of the few minority groups that's starting more and more businesses. But at the same time, it's that stubbornness that we talked about earlier, right? Mm-hmm. That makes us not want to go and reach out for help to really develop a strong business case in order to get more access to capital. So it's the ability to balance both, because we love that spirit of entrepreneurship and excitement and, la locura que algunas veces los latinos traen. But and that's a positive, but let's make sure that we balance it with the ability for us to grow and scale our businesses at the level that we need to.
Yo veo una mezcla explosiva en esto. Los latinos tenemos la inspiración, we are very inspired, we, hot blood, muy calientes, hacemos esto. But we don't want to educate ourselves. We don't want to go to external capital. So we call el abuelo, la mamá, el tío, el compadre. We ask for money. And now we launch the product, the business. And then we have even a bigger problem because, you can fight with a bank, whatever. But when the money or the savings of your mother, your parents, your compadre are in the business and the business is not working as you were expecting, now you have double problem. You have personal problems, you have family problems, and also on top of that, you have financial issues. Don't you think?
Absolutely. And I think, it's moving away from that type of access to, dollars in order to fund our businesses, and being a little bit more willing to go and explore some great programs. And a lot of financial institutions have some of the, whether it be a Chase who has fantastic programs for, small, mid-sized businesses, especially minority-owned businesses. But the reality is Hispanics are not coming and signing up for those programs.
Right.
It's about giving them that type of access and training. And that's one of the things that we as a chamber strive to do is really be viewed as a center of excellence where you have the opportunity to, know that we have these tools readily available and we could give you direction on where to go find them.
Right. Once I had the chance to ask for a line of credit with the SBA, Small Business Administration, and, I was kind of afraid at the beginning, what kind of people is that? How is it going to work? And to be honest with you, was easier than expected, mucho más fácil, and todo funcionó bien. Dieron el dinero, los términos muy claros, y me ayudó mucho en mi propio negocio. So that's something that we need to break, the fear to the unknown, because, by the way, what do you think about uncertainty?
Uncertainty is, again, it's one of those things that, humans, we fear, right? But sometimes uncertainty also lends itself to be creative, right? Because you have to think about very different scenarios on how you're going to solve for a problem or how you're going to solve a marketing campaign or a business problem. And uncertainty sometimes allows us to be better planners.
Right. And, una de las cosas que los empresarios tenemos que conquistar es el miedo a la incertidumbre, a lo desconocido. And, I think that there are two kind of people. The ones that like the 9 to 5, you go to work to a place, you get your check. And the other ones that say, you know what, I just want to conquer the unknown. And they become entrepreneurs. It's probably riskier, but at the end, probably you have better results.
Sometimes it's, a lot of us sometimes say, the bigger the risk, the bigger the return. But it's also dependent on everybody's, willingness and ability to take that risk. And there's no right or wrong answer to that.
Right. Okay, so let's go to Fernandez, the individual, the human being that most people call Fern. And I was thinking about your name and your last name, and definitely you are a marketing guru. You have Fernandez. So it's easy. It's like a brand. As lo más fácil de recordar. So even your name is a marketing name, a marketable name. It's amazing.
I always say just add easy to my first name.
Right. Anyways, Fernand, I have some questions that I like to ask you. They are more personal. What's the world figure, alive or not, beside your parents, that you admire the most?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm one of the people that I admire. I originally studied to be a pilot, and I admire Amelia Earhart quite a bit. Not because of, everybody knows Amelia Earhart as breaking world records, being a woman, a pioneer in sort of aviation. But she was also one of the few first to, market commercial air travel. She knew how to tell people that, commercial air travel was safe, that it was a reliable form of transportation. So I admire her quite a bit for not the things that a lot of people remember her for, but for, being able to take that entrepreneur spirit of here's commercial air travel. How are we going to develop it and try to sell it?
Right. Lamentablemente, todos recordamos a Amelia por lo último que le pasó, el accidente que tuvo y desapareció. Pero muy poca gente tiene la oportunidad de investigar un poco más, como tú lo hiciste, y admirarla, investigar un poco más su vida y lo que ella significaba durante su trayectoria antes del accidente. Y Amelia, I'm going to have to agree with you. She was great. And a lot to learn from her. Now, I would like to ask you, there are things that we all as humans don't know or would like to know more about it. Si tú estuvieses enfrente de una persona sabia y tienes una pregunta para hacerle, ¿qué pregunta le harías?
Tremenda pregunta. Yo creo que lo primero que siempre pregunto es, déjame saber ¿qué es la misión más fuerte que has tenido en tu vida?
¿Cuál es la misión más fuerte que has tenido
emoción.
Emoción.
La emoción más fuerte que has tenido en tu vida.
That's interesting. I mean, I never thought about it. Interesting. Emotions are a totally unpredictable world, isn't it?
Just like marketing.
Right. On marketing, you depend from so many factors. Even you having data, as you were talking at the beginning, you don't have a guarantee that, that campaign is going to work or the product is going to really gel in the market, correct? So I think it's very exciting, that kind of challenge.
Success or failing a successful marketing campaign, sometimes and marketing in general, it's all timing, what the market is doing that day, positioning, time of day, all of that has such an influence on how you perceive how somebody's trying to tell you a story.
Right. Now, you might have a habit or a secret, something that you do every day that actually is an important factor in your success, to éxito. Is there such a thing?
Yes. Well, there's two things. One is I always make sure that I say goodnight to my kids.
That's beautiful.
I have two beautiful kids. I have a 7-year-old daughter and a 11-year-old son. And the second thing is whether I'm sad, happy, stressed or not, I eat French fries.
That's amazing. You got me by surprise. Me sorprendí.